And let's check out what's going on at Outnumbered at the top of the hour. Sandra and Harris are up there. What do you got cooking, guys?
Hey, Eric. Well, Democrats calls growing for House Intel Chair Devin Nunes to recuse himself from the Russia probe or step down entirely. What he said about that just a short time ago. Can he weather this storm?
And the Trump administration is cracking down on sanctuary cities. The Democratic mayors now are vowing to fight back, even claiming the Attorney General's plan is illegal. So who's right?
All that plus our hashtag, one lucky guy. It is, are we sharing with, it is Bill O'Reilly today. He's got his new book, Going Old School. We have so much to talk about with him. Please join us, top of the hour.
All right, Big Bill O'Reilly. See you in about 10 minutes from now.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Big Bill. All right. Well, President Trump about to make good on a campaign promise to undo Obama-era environmental regulations. You know, the president is set to sign a new sweeping order later on this afternoon that will nearly completely unravel the former president's agenda on the environment. Supporters say it will help the economy and bring back jobs, but critics are slamming the president's moves, saying that the actions will harm the environment, accelerate global warming, and do lasting damage to our planet. So what's the impact? Ed Martin joins us. He's former chairman of the Missouri Republican Party and author of the book, The Conservative Case for Trump. Leslie Marshall, syndicated radio host, political analyst, and Fox News contributor. Welcome to you both. Leslie, let me start with you.
Good morning.
Good morning. I mean, reversing some of these environmental climate change policies, really, it's not a surprise at all.
Well, it's not a surprise. I mean, this is one of the things that the president campaigned on and promised to do straight off the bat. So this is not a surprise. But another thing that people need to look at is what is the net gain of jobs? In doing this, you're going to lose green jobs. You'll gain some coal jobs. But look at just the numbers. 1923, there were 800,000 coal jobs, about 80,000 today. By 2040, even without this executive action by the president, coal is not going to factor into the electricity mix going forward in the future. And that's been going on since the 1920s till now.
Well, Ed, does Leslie have a point? I mean, apparently wind and solar jobs are like 10 times more than the coal jobs now.
Well, listen, hold on a second. I mean, you know, President Obama will be famous in the history books for a couple of phrases. One was, if you like your doctor, you can keep it. That was a lie. The other one is, I have a pen and I have a phone. I'm going to use it. So I think most Americans are ready to roll back President Obama. He politicized most of his work. The White House roster of attendees, visitors who wanted left-wing environmental regulations is huge. So what we're seeing today is a president saying, wait a second, let's go back to where we were before and think clearly, not about taxpayer-funded green jobs, not about taxpayer-funded water jobs, hydro jobs, but how we can make the economy work for everybody. So this is a great moment. I don't think it's going to do anything that will be damaging to anybody except freeing up the economy and the country to do the things they do well, which is create jobs and run their homes and everything else. So it's a great day, and the president's following through. And more importantly, I hope he'll stop using the executive branch to do legislation and to do things like what Obama did for the left wing.
Leslie, do you agree with that? I mean, do you think that most Americans are ready for this? I mean, look at some of the things. It's going to target the Clean Power Plan. It's going to roll back the coal-fired power plants. It's going to permit fracking on public land. The moratorium on coal leasing on federal lands, that will expire. And it also will roll back and reverse the Obama administration effort to try and include climate change issues as part of the federal decision-making process.
I don't think the majority of people want this. You have to remember that clean air and clean water are not a partisan issue. It is not liberal to want clean air and clean water for ourselves, our children, and future generations. As a matter of fact, Democrats and Republicans actually agree on that, and that's why we're seeing governors in red states, mayors of red cities in states like Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, Illinois, and red districts within those states actually going forward with things that mirror more of what President Obama had in place with regard to climate change. Hey, look, even Mad Dog Mattis, who President Trump appointed, he is one that says that climate change does affect national security. So I don't agree with Americans wanting power plants to have more emissions out there. And if so, why is real estate so cheap next to a power plant?
Well, Ed, what about that? Let me read you something, Ed, that Think Progress has this morning about this. It says, quote, "This order will make communities more vulnerable to climate change, while the order is being touted as a job creator by the Trump White House. It's important to note that it sends a clear signal to agencies across the federal government climate change is no longer something that should be considered a priority when making decisions. In fact, 97% of scientists agree that climate change is both real and a result of human activity, and I could hear you kind of scoffing at that.
Well, no, listen, first of all, Leslie needs to be honest with the American people. The boondoggle of giving money, nobody doesn't want clean water. We all want clean water. But Harry Reid's family is rich off of solar farms. The Carnahan family in Missouri, where I'm from, rich off of wind farms. It's a boondoggle by the left to feed money to their people. It's a corruption. But here's what we should say. Clean water is something we'll require from our coal producers, our oil producers, our solar producers. That's fine. Clean water, clean land, we're going to have that. What we don't want is the left wing putting an ideological, Think Progress is a left wing, outfit that's looking for their angle. That's what Obama did. What we want is more freedom. And by the way, when we do all these regulations, when they take them away, you know who wins, Leslie? Not you, not the Carnahans, not the Reids. The people who have their bills go down. Their productive, when they get their bill in the mail every month, they go down. That's what we
Ed,
want.
some would say that your bill may go down, but the environmental consequences.
No, that's nonsense. It's not. Some may say that. That's Leslie and the Think Progress. That's nonsense. The fact is that we have clean water. We've had it for 30 years. This is a boondoggle. This is a straw man to funnel money to the left. Listen, look at what's going on. Our waters and streams are cleaner. And by the way, one last thing. 99% of the climate scientists pretending they know what the models will do in 20 years, they can't predict the weather next week. So let's make the climate better, sure, but not on the burden of the American people and businesses.
We're up against the clock. Leslie, 20 seconds.
I live in Los Angeles. If you look at pictures of our air quality and look at the graphs from years ago to now, it has improved because of regulations. Even the picture that was being shown while you were speaking showed pollution going into the environment coming out of these power plants. Do we want to gain jobs, sacrificing clean air and clean water in the future for our children?
Not related.
I say the American people would say no.
Typical straw man.
Well,
Typical
that's the argument, and the president will take out his pen this afternoon. So we'll see what happens. Leslie and Ed, thank you so much.